Hi, I'm Dara with Gracefully Saved Goods, and I'm doing a little craft video. So I have a craft room, like I'm sure a lot of people do, that has a big table on it with lots of room to craft. However, on the weekends, when I'm at home, I work during the week, I like to spend my weekend days with my husband, who likes to watch golf on Sundays, or we'll watch movies together. And of course, I also like to craft. I rarely sit still without doing something with my hands. And so what I've found is that I find little projects to do. So what I also have is I have a TV tray that I bring in some of my basic supplies, and actually I have a little 3-drawer stash behind the sofa of some of my craft supplies, so that if I need them, I can pull them out. So I'm calling this little video Crafting from the Couch, because I want to show you that you really don't need a whole lot of space to do some crafting, do some fun things. You don't need a whole lot of things. So today I'm going to show you some of the Easter eggs that I've decorated, and you can also, some of these techniques you can use in your junk journals. I junk journal, I scrapbook, I sew, I make costumes, a little bit of everything. So here's some of the eggs that I've made just recently. Like I said, sitting watching movies. So here's one with yarn. Here's another yarn egg right there. Pink yarn, I love pink. Here's one that I've covered with a book pages, little pieces. And then I decorated with a bird from a napkin. So I'm going to do one of those here in just a minute. And let's see, here's one. I've put little squares of burlap on. It doesn't look that exciting. I'll probably add a ribbon around it. I've also done 3 eggs. I really love wrapping this twine around my eggs. So I did a little set with matching rickrack and some sequins. A lot of things, I love bling, so a lot of things I have are sparkly. I've tried different things, so I've taken an egg, and I had a blouse that doesn't fit me anymore that I just love the fabric on. So I cut the fabric up into little squares, and I added that to an Easter egg. Now, I will say with this, if you've got fabric or napkins that are sheer, you might want to pay attention to the egg color behind. So I really don't like that you can see so much pink behind this blue egg. So if I was doing it again, I'd probably do it on a blue egg or a yellow egg so that you didn't see that. So I may cover it with a few more layers of fabric. I've done a lace egg. This is a little harder to wrap. It slides around, but we'll talk about the glues here in a minute. We're going to do one like this, but with different colors. This is called let me see, I have it here. Oh, I had it just right here in front of me. I think it's called a knitting yarn that you use. And I'm sorry, oh, here it is. Sorry, I'm on the couch. Things get spread out. So it's called Funky Friends. So you can see it's just little. You wouldn't think you could wrap that around an egg, but I'll show you. It's actually the easiest one to do because you can just wrap it randomly all over the place until you cover the egg. So we're gonna do that. So let's see. Now so I was playing with different things. I had a really fuzzy yarn that I wrapped an egg in, but it's so fuzzy you can't tell it's an egg anymore. So it does look like an egg when I put it in a basket with all of my eggs, but just separate it doesn't. Same thing with this one. I loved the colors of that yarn, so I wrapped it around an egg. And let's see, I did, so these eggs, I actually did some crepe paper around that egg. So these other eggs are actually the same size as this egg, but they're wrapped with the thick rope that you can get at the dollar store. So, you can get this, it comes in like 2 yards for $1. And this was the easiest and the fastest to do. You just wrap it and use craft glue as you're wrapping. And that's really easy to do. So the first one I did actually this is the very first one I did that I was sitting on the couch and thought, oh, I just want something to do. I just wrapped it with the little twine. So there's different glues, and you know, different glues stick to different surfaces. And so I found that Elmer's glue doesn't stick to plastic as well. And when I was in here, I didn't have my craft glue. I didn't want to run out to my room and get it. So I will tell you, I've learned that Elmer's glue doesn't stick if you're doing the fine wrapping. So I've got this, I wrapped with twine, but it doesn't stick to the egg. So I'm gonna have to, luckily, it hasn't unwound and I'll be able to stick that on with craft glue. So I haven't lost all that work that I've done. The other thing that I've found is that with Easter eggs, some of the eggs have a little notch because to hold them together so that the top and the bottom don't separate. I found out after doing this one, I cut those little notches off because I don't like those in the way. So let me show you my little book page. I'm going to do a book page, egg, and I'm going to do the wrapping, the little twine, the funky knitting. I don't know how old this is. I just had it in my stash. Funky fringe yarn. It says knitting yarn. So with the pages, what I did is I took a book page, and actually I just tore strips like this. And of course I found the strips they're pretty straight. So when I'm tearing the little pieces for the egg, and of course depending on the size of the egg, you don't want too big a piece because they don't fold over the egg as well. So I just tear some little strips, and then some of them I tear at a little bit of an angle so we get different shapes. And I found what I really like is on the egg with the paper is I actually found glue stick works to get it started. So with these, I'm going to show you, all I did was you put a little glue stick on it. I also try to cover the seam because I don't want the egg coming apart, so I don't try to work around that. And you just put a little piece of paper down, and even if the paper sticks up, you can rub the edges with the glue stick and it puts it right back down. I've actually found the glue stick is not quite as messy initially as using the tacky glue, the craft glue. So I kind of like that. I also found that some of the tacky glue takes my nail polish off. So I have to be a little more careful if I've just done my nails. Most of the time I don't worry about that too much. But it does eat into your nail polish. So I'm gonna do a few more. I'll show you like I said, if you're working at the top of the egg, you wanna do just a little piece so it folds over easier. And you can see pieces are sticking to my fingers right now. Oops, there's a little piece. And I wanna stick that to the top. So I put glue down first, and now I'm gluing on top, kind of just to hold the edges down. Okay, we'll do this. So I'm gonna put a few more pieces on here. Oh, now I've got a piece of fabric stuck to my fingers. If anyone has any ideas on helping with that, let me know. I don't like to wear gloves when I craft. I don't mind the glue. Okay, on my fingers. So I'm just smoothing it down. You can see I've added those pieces to the top. And you know, it doesn't matter if they're not perfectly glued down because it gives a little texture to the egg. So I have also, when I use napkins, I love using napkins for decorating. I have this napkin here, and of course I've torn it off its base piece of the napkin, but it has, you can see the design, it has a pretty butterfly and some flowers. So what I've done is I've already pre-cut, hold on, they'll stick to my fingers now, a butterfly and some flowers. So I'm gonna stick these on the egg. So to get them the right direction. So first I'm gonna put my flowers on here. I think I've got enough room. And of course you'll find napkins, you know, when you glue them down, they're very sheer, so they stick very easily. So I'm gonna start out by, I need a little more glue stick here, rubbing glue stick all over where I'm gonna put the napkin. show you here. And then I'm going to put the napkin down on the flour down on the egg here. And then I'm just lightly kind of mashing it in. And sometimes you see little wrinkles in the napkins, but with glue stick you can smooth them out. I'm going to show you something here. So also my napkin, you see the edge is kind of sticking up. I'm going to rub the edges of the napkins. Napkins are so sheer, the glue just goes right through it. Okay, I've got my edges down. I have found, I like to take the glue stick lid. It's very smooth, and I like to rub it over the napkin, and it smooths it down. Okay, gets the edges down. Okay, then I want to put, let's get my little butterfly on top here. Top of the flowers. Okay, there we go. And sometimes the lid helps because it doesn't stay sticky. Helps mash it down. There you go. So see, decoupaged or glued the napkin on there. I am also, like I said, I like things a little sparkly. So I'm going to take, for this egg, I'm going to take a little Mod Podge, makes a sparkle Mod Podge, which I love. It's my favorite. I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I almost always have a paper plate handy, but I'm just going to take a little bit of the Mod Podge and now run over the top of where the napkin is. And of course, I'm going to end up covering this whole egg with the book page, and I'll show you my others totally covered. And then I'll cover the whole egg with the sparkly Mod Podge. So we're going to let this dry for a minute. Of course, with Mod Podge, you can do several coats. But since I knew I was doing eggs, I thought, oh my goodness, how can I get these eggs to where I can set them to dry? And some of you may have egg holders from Easter. My daughter's grown. I don't have any more of my Easter dyeing, and I haven't gotten any for the grandkids yet. So I took a paper towel holder and I cut it up in little 2-inch tubes so that I can set, you can see I just set my little Easter egg in here like that. So now I can set it aside to dry while that one's drying. So now I want to wrap one. So I'm just going to take this thing off here and get a bunch. I've probably pulled it from the wrong end. Usually these have a place to pull, but we're going to decorate a little egg. Let's see where my little egg went to. Of course, I like eggs. I have the eggs in all different sizes, but I'm just going to do this little egg, and this is one I want to cut the little plastic hook off because it just sticks out too much for me. So I just cut most of it off. Okay. Now, I will say that when I'm crafting on the couch, things sometimes kind of explode a little bit over my little table, but it's really easy to clean up. I just pile it back on the table and it's kind of contained. Okay, so I do use, I use the tacky glue for this. Now you can't, I did use Elmer's glue wrapping some of the rope around the egg, but because you're wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, it's not going to come off like the other one. But I really prefer on these eggs just using the glue. So what I did, I'm just going to put some glue on here, kind of, you'll see, kind of all over to get it started. Here we go. Let me show you what I did. Nothing fancy, just glued around, and then I'm starting by laying one of the strands over the egg, and here we go. We're just going to wrap, wrap, wrap. And I'm wrapping it all directions. Sometimes I'll wrap horizontally for a while, and then I'll go and turn it, change it around. Try not to do it the same direction because I want it to kind of look, I want it to be random. And you can see, so, hold on. So we're just going, so I'll show you up close. You can see it's going through the glue. You can see what it looks like now. And you can see this really won't take very long either. Now, if you have a big egg, it's going to take a long time, but a little longer, I mean. Still won't take real long. Okay, let me get some more yarn here. Okay, and then I will, when I start getting some, I've gone through the glue I've put on there. You can see now I have some kind of bald spots there. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the bald spots. Oops, that's a lot of glue. Add a little glue there because I'm going to keep wrapping. And you know this glue dries clear. Here we go. Okay, let's keep going here. Keep wrapping it. You can wrap it until you're happy with. Sometimes I try to line up the little pieces of the yarn to be on the bald spots of the egg. So, oh, I hear my husband outside laughing with the neighbors. I kicked him out for just a few minutes while I do this video. Okay. Golf is on, so we're gonna have to watch that in a few minutes. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is so pretty. I love all the colors. Yeah, I love Easter colors. And then, let's see. Yeah, my husband said, looks like we've had an Easter explosion on our dining room table because I've made this huge table arrangement. Okay. All right, this egg is almost all the way covered. I'll show you here. And of course I used a pink egg, so if you're not looking at it closely, you really can't see that if you had some bald spots, you'd have to pay attention, look at it pretty closely. See, I have one right there. So I'll try to wrap around right there. I'm gonna put a little glue right there to hit that bald spot. I call it a bald spot. That's just where you can see the egg. Okay, I see another little spot there. Oh, got it with each of these little tiny little threads. So here we go. I think I'm done with that one. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna put a little glue on the last little piece of the thread. There we go. Yep, got it down. So those colors end up being very pretty. See, now I have an egg that's covered. Okay, so I'm going to, let's go back to our egg that we just put the book cover on. And I don't know if you can see it from there, but it is sparkling because I used this sparkly Mod Podge. I've got a little butterfly on it. So, okay, I'm going to show you. I have a little bowl of eggs that actually goes on my, sorry, I'm reaching down on the floor where if you've fallen. And I kind of arrange them in here. I'm going to show you. That one's going to go, that one's still in work. That was the little ones I put on top. And there's my other one like that. And my bird ones are my favorite of what I've done so far. Let's get something sticking to it. I try to rearrange them with kind of different colors. Oh, here's my little lace one. And here's the one here's this one. Trying to add some color and some neutrals, and I'm gonna add this one here. There's all my Easter eggs. Thank you for watching. I had fun doing this, and I'm gonna go sit here and watch golf and make some more eggs.